Good evening and welcome to On the Table. With the upcoming official working visit of Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim to Uzbekistan, tonight we discuss the strong ties and growing cooperation between the two countries. With us in the studio today is His Excellency Dr. Karomiddin Gadoyev, the Ambassador of Uzbekistan to Malaysia. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your studio. It's very important in prior to the visit of Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, to Uzbekistan.
Your Excellency, perhaps we can start with the current state of diplomatic ties between the two countries and how has this evolved over the last few years?
Yes, it's a very important question. Thank you. And despite the geographical distance between Uzbekistan and Malaysia, our countries have been linked the historical ties. And Uzbekistan and Malaysia relationship has grown successfully, we can say, over the past 6-7 years. 6-7 years because we began to implement the new strategy building of new Uzbekistan. And our countries have intensified bilateral and multilateral cooperation within the international organizations. Yeah. We have good interparliamentary ties, trade, economic, cultural, and education ties.
Now, on that note, Your Excellency, our Prime Minister is scheduled to make a visit to Uzbekistan very soon.
Yeah.
What outcomes or agreements do you foresee happening during this visit and which will strengthen the ties even further?
First of all, upcoming visit of Honorable Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and high-level dialogue in Tashkent will allow us to raise the warm and friendly relationship between our countries. We can say this visit is a historic visit because it is for the first time after the 16 years.
Right.
Last visit of Prime Minister of Malaysia.
16 years ago.
16 years ago in 2008.
Okay.
And it will intensify, first of all, trade and economic relations,
okay.
Which has a large untapped potential. We are expecting to sign agreements and MOUs and plan new joint projects in different areas, including trade, investments, education, training, healthcare, smart city development.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, Your Excellency, you also personally recently met with our Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, Tengku Zafrul. What came out of that meeting specifically? Yes,
it was a friendly and fruitful meeting. Indeed. We came out to host the second Uzbek-Malaysian Business Forum in Samarkand within the visit of Honorable Prime Minister to Uzbekistan.
I see.
It's on 18th of May. It will provide a unique platform to promote business contacts between our countries and in such areas as agriculture and food processing, chemical industry, energy, including the green energy, electronics and electrotechnical and pharmaceutical sectors. And of course, we agreed with Honorable Tengku to work out after the visits a work plan to how we can successfully implement the agreements which will be reached during the visit of Honorable Prime Minister.
So which means a lot of background work is going on before the visit.
Yes.
Okay. And speaking about agreements and all of that, an MOU was signed late last year on the sidelines of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO General Assembly, which was held in Uzbekistan. Now, several key areas of cooperation in tourism between Malaysia and Uzbekistan were identified, and I understand that this is a 10-year plan, which is 2023 to 2033. So could you tell me why is there such a big focus on tourism?
You know, it was important visit of your tourism minister to Samarkand, and because tourism is considered as one of the main pillars in cooperation between Uzbekistan and Malaysia, because tourism sector is essential for the economies of both countries. And I believe that this is the best way to bring our beautiful countries to closer, and rich cultures closer to each other. And we have a specific cooperation plans in this regard. For example, tourism promotion and marketing, and joint research and training, as well as wider air connectivity between major tourism destinations. Today, we have 4 flights, direct flights between Kuala Lumpur to Tashkent.
That's right. Bati Air recently announced the flights.
Yes, Bati Air began its flights in December.
Yes.
It was only 1 flight a week, but since 15th of April,
yes,
Bati Air Malaysia began its 2nd flight. But now they have plans to put 3rd flight
to expand this even further. Now, why is that important? Why are these direct flights very important?
Because it is important that these ties will boost not only tourism, but people-to-people ties.
Right.
And but also trade and investment relations.
And you need that very
we need
easy
very good connections, and we are continuing our negotiations by some other air companies of Malaysia to put direct flights to such historical cities, Samarkand and Bukhara as well.
Oh. So there's lots of plans in place now. Okay. Now, Your Excellency, you are an author of 11 books and more than 70 scientific articles on international relations and public diplomacy. Why is Malaysia important to you?
You know, you have a beautiful nature and an equatorial climate. And in my one of my books, I devoted a separate article to Rafflesia arnoldi, the largest flower in the world, which is grows in Malaysia.
Yes.
And Malaysia also developed the economy, and your country was able to become one of the Asian tigers a short period of time.
That's right.
And most importantly, you have a wonderful and hospitable, multinational and multi-religious people who live in the country in peace and unity. And all this gives me, as a diplomat, and first of all, as a geographer, scientist, geographer,
that's right. You started out with that.
Important information to my next book, and I think my Malaysia will be the topic of my next book. I even came up with a name for it: Lines from the Malaysian Diary, or it may be Memoirs of an Uzbek geographer from Malaysia.
Wonderful, and I'm looking forward to that book. Now, Your Excellency, before I let you go, I do have one last question. Since you are an expert in geography, Uzbekistan itself is a landlocked country, and Malaysia is practically the opposite.
Yes.
But I'm sure there are some similarities, and I know you've not been here very long, but what are the similarities that you see between both countries?
We have many similarities. I already told you have a very kindful, very cheerful people.
Okay.
And we have the main part of population is Muslims. In our country also 25% of population is Muslims. We have a sacred Islam. Many, we have a common historical ties within the ancient Silk Road, which is connecting our countries to each other. And therefore, Malaysia is very important for me. I like it very much.
Thank you. Now, I do have one final question before we go. You did recently reveal, I read a report that said that there are currently 36 Malaysian companies operating in Uzbekistan,
Yes.
and there's one Uzbek company which is in Malaysia.
Yes.
Over the next 4 to 5 years of your term here, how do you see this number changing?
You know, I have a huge plans there. And yes, we have a 33 Malaysian operators in our country, companies which is operating in our country, and one Uzbek company in Malaysia.
Yeah.
But soon,
Yes.
Another 2 companies will begin their activities in Uzbekistan, and 2 Uzbek companies will begin their activities in Malaysia. We are ready for signing some documents, and our cooperation in many areas, not only in economic and investment, but cultural and humanitarian spheres will widen, I hope. And I came to Malaysia to work very hard and to bring these 2 wonderful nations more closely.
Wonderful. We're really looking forward to hearing more about these cooperations.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time here today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
I've been speaking to His Excellency Dr. Karomiddin Gadoev, the Ambassador of Uzbekistan to Malaysia. It's now back to you.